His foreign minister said the consequences were catastrophic for millions of Egyptians who depended on tourism for their livelihoods. A major rescue operation is underway in the Pakistani city of Lahore, where a 4-storey factory, which was under construction, has collapsed, killing at least 18 people. Over 100 people are feared trapped beneath the rubble. The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has questioned the arrest of a number of journalists on Tuesday. At a cabinet meeting, he urged the authorities not to make baseless arrests and fabricate a case. Mexico's Supreme Court has voted in favor of allowing a group of activists to grow and distribute marijuana for their personal use. The ruling applies only to the 4 people who brought the case, but experts say it could pave the way for legalizing the recreational use of marijuana in the future. Investigators say a US police officer hailed as a hero, killed in the line of duty, in fact took his own life. They say Charles Glinowitz staged his death because he was about to be exposed for embezzling public funds. He radioed colleagues to say he was chasing suspects and was later found dead in a wood near his patrol car. Youth activists in Mauritania are reported to have staged a protest outside the health ministry demanding action against what's been described as a mysterious viral epidemic in the North African country. Demonstrators said the virus had caused many deaths. BBC News.
Your connection to quality cannabis insurance services is spelled K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R. That's Karcher Insurance. We have worked with ventures like Cannabis for over 60 years. We're proud to represent over 50 companies with tailor-made cannabis plans for owners just like you to insure your product, your plants, and your pursuits. K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R spells out their full-service insurance services ranging from commercial to bonds to personal, from life to health, and more. Contact the team at KarcherInsurance.com and let our experience work for you. That's K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R Insurance.com.
Contact Karen and the team at Karcher Insurance at 1-844-421-3560. That's 844-421-3560.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Kate Fisher. British Prime Minister David Cameron will hold talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Thursday at Downing Street, just a day after the UK halted all flights into the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh amid security concerns. British officials now say there is a significant possibility that an explosive device brought down the Russian Metrojet plane that crashed in the Sinai on Saturday, killing all 224 people on board. From London, Catherine Drew reports.
The move to halt all UK flights to Sharm el-Sheikh, a favourite with British tourists, is a significant blow to Egypt's vital tourism industry and an embarrassment for the Egyptian authorities. All flights were suspended after a team of British security experts analysed security at the airport Wednesday, prompting the government to advise against all but essential travel through the airport. Travel advice for the region, though, has not changed. This is likely to dominate talks at Downing Street as the two leaders meet to discuss security concerns relating to Islamic State militants and the situation in Syria and Iraq. The talks have been criticised by human rights campaigners who describe President Sisi as a dictator who has violently cracked down on dissent.
US intelligence sources are also saying that they believe a bomb planted by ISIS or an affiliate may have been responsible for downing the flight. In Washington, here's Kevin McAleese.
The US position that Islamic extremists may have planted a bomb on the aircraft echoed earlier analysis from the United Kingdom. An unidentified source told CNN a device may have been planted in luggage or somewhere on the plane. However, US State Department spokesman John Kirby, when pressed on who or what was responsible for the crash, insisted the US government would not be rushed to judgment.
Everybody would like to have answers as soon as possible, most especially the families that are grieving. But the investigators are still at it, and we got to give them the time and the space to do their job.
This new assessment came after the White House addressed concerns over US citizens travelling to the region, making it clear that US airliners did not operate over the area affected by Saturday's air disaster.
US Defence Secretary Ashton Carter and his Malaysian counterpart are planning to sail aboard a US warship that has been patrolling in disputed waters of the South China Sea. The move underscores regional tensions over China's territorial claims there. Daniel Wrenches reports from Washington.
Ashton Carter and the Malaysian Defence Minister Hishamuddin Hussein will sail on board the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, on Thursday. It follows on directly from a meeting of regional defence ministers in Malaysia in which differences appeared over China's maritime territorial claims. US warships recently sailed within disputed waters.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSM. Mexico's Supreme Court has ruled that people should have the right to grow marijuana for personal use. The decision doesn't change the current law, but it does lay the groundwork for legal changes in the future. Andrea Arenas reports.
Today's ruling could start a wave of legal actions aimed at relaxing legislation against people who want to grow marijuana for personal consumption, as well as those who need to use the plant for medicinal purposes. The Supreme Court took on this case as a result of an appeal filed by a marijuana advocacy group. The group had previously been denied its request to grow the plant for recreational purposes. Experts say the ruling may lead to a reduction in drug-related violence in Mexico, where the illegal drug trade is ruled by gangs. Andrea Arenas, Washington.
Facebook has released earnings for the third quarter, announcing that over 1 billion people use the social media site every day. And with revenue also beating Wall Street estimates, Facebook's founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg called it a good quarter. William Denslow has more from New York.
Last month, Facebook announced it would invest more in its family of apps, including WhatsApp, Messenger and Instagram, to boost advertising revenue. And that investment appears to be paying off. Ad revenue was up at $4.3 billion this quarter, especially boosted by Facebook's video advertising. Thanks to spending on projects like virtual reality, costs and expenses for Facebook were up at 68% from last year. But total revenue was still up 41% at $4.5 billion. Monthly active user growth was also up 14% from last year, with over 1.5 billion people using the site each month, with over 1 billion people now logging on each day. William Denslow, New York.
And that's the latest feature story news. Kate Fisher reporting.
Forwarding the cause of legalization and research of the growing cannabis industry, one podcast at a time. The Cannabis Radio Network.
From the Sky News Centre at 2, all flights to Sharm el-Sheikh have been suspended indefinitely amid fears a plane which crashed in Egypt on Saturday was brought down by a bomb. Officials in the US and the UK say it's possible the Russian jet was hit by an explosion. The government is now advising against all but essential travel through the resort's airport. Egypt's foreign minister has described the decision as premature and unwarranted, but the Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond stands by it.
With respect to him, he hasn't seen all the information that we have, and while we regard the Egyptians as very important partners, we want to work with them, when we see something which we believe represents a threat to British nationals, we have to act on it.
Police and intelligence agencies will be able to see a list of all the websites you've visited in the last year under planned surveillance laws. The Home Secretary has set out a range of new measures. Millions of households are apparently still stuck on expensive energy tariffs despite new rules forcing suppliers to display their cheapest prices. Government figures show around 3/4 of people are still on standard deals, which cost around 10% more. It's claimed personal trainers should be put into job centres and GP surgeries to get people doing more exercise. The organisation UK Active thinks the government needs a better strategy to tackle what it calls the inactivity pandemic. Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho got the win he badly needed as his side beat Dynamo Kiev 2-1 in the Champions League. Mourinho says the winning goal from Willian was a significant moment.
It was not a drama. The 1-1 was not a drama. We knew that with the draw, if we win the next two matches, we would qualify second in the group. But I think by the mental point of view was important.
Arsenal are bottom of group.